National Championships.
Hello. You are listening to Grand National Championships on the internet. My name is Alistair. With me tonight, we have Corin, our chief legal counsel. Jotham, a mental health professional in charge of keeping us all on the level. And Jared, the architect of our technical infrastructure. Thank you very much for being with us. It was touch and go here for a little while. There was quite a storm that blew through here over in the Tampa Bay area. I'm in St. Petersburg. Jotham and Jared are in Tampa. They may have felt the gale that was blowing up around the area recently, just a few hours ago, and I wasn't sure how long it was going to carry on. I was shutting down all my electronic equipment. It was there are strangers' recycle bins in our yard. I don't know whose they are.
Oh. Hopefully
they'll sort it out. You guys get through it all right on this side? Corin wouldn't know about rain. He's in Seattle.
No clue.
It really wasn't bad here.
Yeah.
I said it was a 9 on the Richter scale earlier, but that was a lie. It rained for like 3 minutes.
Oh, it rained for
the wrong scale. For rain.
I know.
That is incorrect. It was raining really hard for. It wasn't super long. Well, Jared really cracked himself up there. It was raining for half hour, 45 minutes, but it was serious. It was the worst storm that I've seen around here since the last time there was like a tropical storm.
It wasn't no joke storm.
It was serious.
Serious.
That is something about the tropical weather that I enjoy. It's like the 30 to 45 minute storm of your life, and then it's gone and the sun comes back out.
Where you are now, do you just kind of get 24 hours straight of just like mist all over you?
9 months.
9 months.
Yeah,
well,
it's
I'm saying
one of those storms stretched out over 9 months.
24 hours per day. Yeah.
Yeah.
For 9 months.
Yeah. It's depressing.
Well, this is week 2 of Grand National Championships, the podcast exclusively, where we are meeting up here. We're having some fellowship and playing some music, primarily music that's coming out of the Tampa Bay area. We'll be expanding and working on other things as far as having live performances and stuff like that as pandemics allow. I want to thank everyone for checking in with us, for listening and watching on our YouTube channel. The show from last week got a lot of good feedback. A lot of people checked in and said, hey, good job. Some people said they like YouTube best of all as a format for the show because they get to see our stupid faces.
I agree.
I do make a lot of stupid faces.
It's true. We are available on multiple formats. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're, of course, on this YouTube channel. All kinds of places to find us. I do want to mention, if you have anything to let us know about or to ask us, you can send an email to us at thegncshow.com. I'm going to turn that damned music down. That was pretty loud. us at thegncshow.com. Follow us on instantaneous Telegram at Grand National Champs. You can visit grandnationalchampionships.com for all things show related. You can call us. Number is 727-379-4335. That spells paper wheel, as Jared elucidated so thoroughly on our last show. And of course, if you visit Facebook, I never mentioned Facebook, but that's a great way to contact us if you need to. Search Grand National Championships, and we're among the only things that come up. So we are getting started somewhat later than we planned to tonight because Jotham had a big event going on, and I'm very interested to hear how this actually played out. What did you do tonight, Jotham?
Tonight, my lovely girlfriend and I cooked with a chef in Thailand when we were in Tampa, and we did it via Skype call. So it was pretty cool. It was 5 a.m. over there, 6 p.m. Eastern time, and it was dark out there. She was like on the beach. So as we continued cooking, it was light, and so there were like birds and the beach. It was really nice. anyways, cooked some. I mean, there were more complicated dishes than I thought they were going to be. I guess about as expected, but I really didn't know what went into these dishes before we cooked, and we did shrimp pad thai and masamam chicken curry.
Now, do you feel like these dishes stretched your cooking skill beyond its normal range?
Absolutely, yes.
Was this chef mentioning concepts that perhaps you weren't familiar with, and you were like, "Do what now?"
No, not necessarily that. It's just like stuff like we were cooking the curry, and we didn't add the oyster sauce till a certain time because the oyster sauce the potatoes won't cook any longer if you put the oyster sauce in too soon for whatever reason. That
it stops the cooking
reaction.
process.
They just like don't cook. So stuff like that, I just didn't know about.
You were okay with, did you have to do a whole lot of prep on your own? Were you taking piles of vegetables and chopping them finely? I'm doing some really good hand motion.
Yeah. We were doing that as we were cooking. I mean, we didn't prep before. We were like, she was cooking the same dish that we were. So we were kind of watching what she was doing, holding stuff up at the screen. This is a pen. This is not a carrot.
That's not a delicious dish.
Like I was, using before. Okay. But it was a great experience overall. She was really cool.
How did this happen? How did you find this person in Thailand to teach you to cook?
The story is, so this company provides this service for different cuisines around the world. So there was a few in America. There's Hungarian or whatever you want. And it was a gift for my girlfriend for our 1-year anniversary. So you choose what cuisine, and then it's supposed to be a 2-hour thing, but we took longer. So that's why we're here now and not earlier.
To spite me. Yeah, it's fine.
Just spite you, right.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there any chance that this chef was doing multiple sessions with multiple anniversary couples at once and charging you as though it was an exclusive one-on-one situation?
I would have been really
exclusive
impressed.
Attention.
I mean, no, I think we did. I mean, she did go off camera a few times. I have no idea what she was doing.
Did she ever come back wearing the wrong corsage?
She was wearing a hat at one point. It was very confusing.
Yeah, I think maybe you were being flim-flammed. I don't want to
like a multiplicity.
So you're saying that this person had cloned themselves.
Chef Joys.
I was thinking perhaps it was more of a Three's Company situation where she made 3 dates to the prom. Were they in high school in Three's Company? And she had to keep going back and forth and pretend that she was giving one-on-one instruction. She had 3 computers going, 3 different kitchens. Was this
from? You only need the one kitchen.
Was this just from a private home? Was she in like a professional-looking kitchen?
She was in a professional-looking kitchen at a cooking school in Thailand that was like there on the beach, like I was saying. So
I get it.
I mean, we only saw like a small part of the kitchen. I assume there was more.
Okay. And it all came out all right? You have any leftovers?
We do. I mean, I ate both those dishes because I had to, and I enjoyed it. I'm very full at this point. I immediately went and laid down in the dark. My back hurts a lot because I'm at the age where I'm just not, standing for 2.5 hours in a kitchen is just not something I normally do.
That makes sense.
But there's a lot to unpack here.
Wait, you had to? Was it a condition of the?
I suppose
did you
have
to eat? Did you have to eat on camera and show the clean plate, never cut away?
No. I mean, I wanted to.
If you didn't,
I didn't necessarily need to eat both dishes.
She kept the $1,000 deposit on your card.
Next time, I'll do it in a roller chair, like an office chair. I could be rolling back and forth, have some nice lumbar support. Really, 2 birds, 1 stone.
Standing up for 2 hours doesn't seem that long to me.
It doesn't. You weren't there.
Oof. True. Yeah. I don't know what your kitchen floor situation is like.
He was under pressure, being scrutinized by a chef.
It was a little stressful. We had a lot of things going on.
Well, I'm glad it turned out all right. It sounds like that you had your own touch and go situation while I was having recycling bins blown across my acreage here. That's right, acreage. Corin, to what have you been up today? Mr. Super eager to get this podcast going. It's early over there. Do you have plans tonight?
Oh, gotta get it over with. Barf. No, I love you guys very much. What did I do today? I went to the doctor this morning.
Cool.
Just for like, I get sinus infections all the time, and I don't know what's up with that. So they had to they scoped my nose, which was an interesting experience. But in order to go to any doctor now, at least at this clinic, you have to get a COVID test 2 days before and then completely isolate for 2 days. If you have a negative, then you can go see the doctor.
And the COVID test is essentially a nose scope, isn't it? Is that what you got, the swab?
Yeah. It was super fun. I went to a drive-through, and I had done one before, and at the previous time I was tested, they swabbed my nose for me. But at this drive-through, they handed me the stick.
Yeah.
And just watched me do it.
I've heard that it's much more.
They do it around here too.
I've heard that it's
CVS
much
does
more
it.
pleasant when you're able to do it yourself, because you can kind of know when you're hitting a spot with resistance and stuff like that. Did you find that was not the case?
I feel unqualified to do this test, and I think I'm a big wuss, and I don't know if I did it right or.
You don't think you can touch your brain with a long Q-tip? It's
I don't know.
Touching the front of your brain with it, doesn't it go up there?
I've had the test twice and refused to look at the swab before it happens because it makes me very anxious, and I know it's very long, and it's not going to help anything by looking at it first.
No, I felt dirty. He was smiling the whole time watching me do it.
Loving it.
Further.
Great job for a sadist.
Had his phone out recording it.
Yeah. This lab coat was swishing furiously from the waist down. So that was that. And then today, I wish I could share this photo with you over Zoom maybe in a minute, but before they do the nose scope, they numb your nose because they're gonna it's even worse than the COVID test. But in order to do that, they have these two. God, the only way I can describe them is miniature tampons, and they stick them all the way back into your nasal cavity, and they just let them sit there for a few minutes, and then you have the strings hanging down from your nose, and everybody leaves the room, and it feels like a prank, just like the COVID test. It's I'm not supposed to touch these. I'm not supposed to do anything. I'm just supposed to sit here with
they're watching you through double-sided mirror,
right? And
Corn
everything
thinks he's here for a test. What he doesn't know.
Oh, it's a what would you do
situation. Your body
situation.
aches to just yank those things out.
You're really on an Impractical Joker show.
Can you feel them absorbing stuff up there?
Your thoughts.
This is a way we rid you of memories.
Yeah, I feel a lot better actually. I had some stuff I needed to clear up. Wasn't a sinus infection after all. So yeah, that was my day. It was real weird in the beginning. I did get to look at pictures of the inside of my nostrils though, so that was cool. Not something I've seen before.
Very pink.
Pink, goopy, yeah. Fine though. Probably just allergies.
Now, you didn't answer my initial question. I said, why are you so eager to get this done? It's still early in Seattle, relatively.
Okay.
Do you have plans afterwards?
What's that?
Do you have plans afterwards, Corin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course I do.
You're going to go parity.
Go on.
He doesn't have to go
depending on how long this takes, I might have plans during.
Cool.
So if you hear the door open and someone enter my home, don't be worried.
Bite Squad.
It was planned. Yeah, I'm having my own dinner date here.
Oh, sweet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, what country are you going to Skype with?
It's some new American cuisine.
Okay, so just someone.
Which means steak and salad.
That's not that new.
Depends on the salad.
That's true. Is it deconstructed? Have you deconstructed a steak? It's like dehydrated and a vapor salad.
Yeah, I'm gonna vape some salad and blow it in her face.
Oh, that's romantic. Hey, Jotham, you could take some notes from Corin for your next futuristic date.
Ridiculous.
Does that mean ridiculous? Ridiculo. Jared, how are you doing today? What's your day or week been like? Anything exciting going on? You sounded the most isolated and on the edge last week when we spoke to you.
Everything's fine. No, I've just been working from home full time. Trying to get some runs in. So there's these like crazy. There's a crazy amount and of peacocks in this neighborhood. So like when you go running, you can't help but feel like you're being watched and judged by these very like royal and regal like creatures, and they're not afraid of you like at all, and it's just like kind of unnerving.
And do you ever get squawked at? They make a horrific noise.
They make a horrific noise, but it's just the knowing stare that they give
just
you.
Getting clocked by a peacock.
They know you're not royalty.
Yes, correct.
Is everyone?
I feel very much.
Wearing a crown while you're running.
Is everyone just going to ignore that I coined the term peaclocked? Oh, thank you. That's nice. Let's circle back. Let's rewind this.
But yeah, other than being peaclocked and working from home, not a whole lot to report.
I like that Alistair almost spit out his water laughing at his own joke repeated by Jared.
Well, when someone else says it, I realize like, oh, the genius, you know. Yeah. And plus, I feel that my influence is spreading. And since I'm not allowed to spread anything else during these pandemic times, I would at least like my influence out there. If not,
one more note on the Skype call. When I logged in, Outer Worlds was the background again.
Oh no!
All right.
I had to change that immediately, but I knew where to change it. She did not.
Have you considered?
I was embarrassed. I was like, "Oh, excuse me."
Have you thought about changing the defaults?
Noob.
Was that Alistair?
I said, have you considered changing the defaults so that when it comes up, it doesn't have the asshole thing on it?
I've only used Skype twice now, and tonight was the second time. The first time was last week, so I could have changed it. I just didn't think of it.
You got to do that because it's going to get you again, and it could be in a much more high risk situation.
But the next person might really think it's cool, so yeah. I'm willing to take that chance. I've already had 2 L's. I mean, whatever.
I would think it's cool.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys could set something up. Jared, do you know how to teach any dish makery?
Do I know how to teach any dish makery? Boy, do I.
Do you know any dishes that you could teach Jotham to cook? Pizza sub.
I mean, do you like hamburger patties? Fried in a pan?
I enjoy your... Last week you posted the steak sandwich in the sandwich talk group, and I really enjoyed that. I mean, that was like a pound of steak?
Just about.
That was a big old sandwich. Impressive.
The mitraille.
Yes.
It literally means submachine gun.
Oh.
Christ.
Did not know.
A pound of steak called the submachine gun is the most Jared sandwich I've ever heard.
Well, hold on. It's a pound of steak on a what was it called? A baguette, right? A baguette steak.
That's bread, yeah.
French fries, cheese, and sauce.
It was a 4,000 calorie sandwich.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
I researched rare sandwiches on Google to make.
Really?
I did. Because like I don't, you got to come with the Saturday Sandwich Showcase. Like you got to swing for the fences.
You really got to go all out.
What Jared is referring to, we talked about on the radio show Jotham
about
and I
it.
did.
Yeah.
Sandwich Talk, a place to talk sandwiches. It's a forum on Facebook that is all about sandwiches, making your own sandwich, enjoying other people's sandwiches. It's just a place to talk sandwiches. But on Saturdays, it's the Saturday Showcase, and that's where you bring the heat, your own homemade sandwiches, show pictures of them, discuss them, go in depth, talk about how they're made, answer questions about them. And Jared... See, my stat. I've got to talk about this. My status in the group, founding member. I was in there on the ground floor, as was Jared, as were a lot of people we know. Very quickly, Jared's status changed in the Facebook group, and he got a little icon, and it says "Rising Star," and that made me furious. I felt like I was in competition with Jared. I mean, obviously. He's bringing the submachine gun. There's no competition whatsoever.
I have to be extra with it. It's just a little competition. So I got to go all out.
If that's a submachine gun, it implies a machine gun somewhere. Correct?
Like a larger one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll research that. See what's up.
Next week on Sandwich Showcase, Saturday Showcase.
I like that you said you were researching rare sandwiches.
Yeah, because I was because
they're rare because they're dangerous.
Dangerous, or just from other countries, a typical sandwich that you would find in other places, because people post all kinds of unique stuff, and you don't want to be here's my bologna sandwich. Yeah. But people have posted bologna
But
sandwiches.
if you did, people would still greet it with love in that group.
Correct.
That's nice. I like that.
It's one of the most accepting places on the internet.
Yeah, it's all constructive criticism. It's kind of the Great British Baking Show. Everybody's just super nice to each other and just gives helpful tips.
Yes.
Recently, though, in the past few days, someone did post something. I don't even remember what it was, but it was something with a little bit of edge to it, a little bit of attitude, and I was like, "That's not sandwich talk," and I blocked them. I blocked this person because I didn't I felt like what they posted was not very sandwich talkish, and that's my thing now. I just no questions. I'll just block you so I don't have to even engage in conversation. This week I did my taxes. I'd done my taxes a while ago, but now I always owe money on my taxes ever since around January 20th, 2017, all my taxes went up, and I started paying every single year. So I put it off until the very final deadline and submitted it on Tuesday night and paid my little chunk. It wasn't as bad this year because I put proper things in place. What are they called? The allowances? You cut down the number of allowances on your W-4 form to make sure that as much as possible is taken out of your weekly check. Yeah. So I did that at the beginning of last year. So I only owed a little bit. I owed as much as it costs to, put a deposit down for an electric bill, an electric account, instead of buying a small horse, which is what I paid last year, over $1,000.
I accidentally stopped paying my federal taxes last year. I filled out the form wrong, and I thought I was claiming zero. Whatever I did it wrong, and I ended up owing $3,000 this year, and it sucked.
That's super shite.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the stimulus just went back to the government.
Last year when I owed a whole bunch of money, which wasn't as much as $3,000, it was somewhere, it was $1,100 to $1,300 or something like that, but still more than I had on hand at the time. So I just did a monthly thing that I'm still paying to this day. There's probably enough interest on it that is now just a continual payment that I'm going to make for the rest of my life. So that's always reassuring. And it was very nice that throughout the entire time that I wasn't getting my stimulus, they were sure to still take out my monthly payment on last year's tax bill while telling me that information was no good to give me a direct deposit of the tax stimulus. But that's all in the past. I've forgiven the government. We're making out every day now. I love it. The other
taxes, huh?
Taxes.
Yeah, taxes are fun. Yeah, this is a great podcast.
The other thing,
in the past couple of years, if anybody cares.
The other thing that happened to me this week is that I was shunned by my stepchild, Mandy's oldest child, Kyle, they lost their glasses last weekend, and then they were claiming constantly, like, I'm blind, I can't see anything. I've been looking for my glasses, but I'm blind, I can't see. So I was telling them that I thought that maybe the search that they had been doing for these glasses might not be a completely wholehearted, thorough search, considering that they were blind, and they had been talking about how blind they are. And this caused all kinds of consternation. This whole house is a frayed nerve because this kid is 14 years old, and that's when all of us were really lashing out at the entire world. Were you guys?
I was a joy. No.
Well, you weren't allowed to do anything. You're having all your B-52 albums taken away. Sorry, Corn.
I was just gonna say, I don't know how anyone put up with me without physical violence. My parents were constantly trying to like make my life beautiful and wonderful and magical, and like took me on road trips into the mountains to stay at like these lovely little Airbnbs in these idyllic towns. What's that?
These mountains suck.
Yeah, the whole time. Just I had headphones on and I was listening to like Smashing Pumpkins, and I wore like dark sunglasses and just like crossed my arms in every picture. The worst kid.
Yeah. But I mean, I am kind of, everything I say sounds like a dickhead says it. So I have a hard time expressing myself clearly and kindly. I feel like when I express myself using cold, hard logic, that's the way I show my love. And that, like I said, it just comes out sounding like some kind of asshole instead of dickhead. So yeah, I was shunned for a little while, but that only lasted about a day. But that's probably the most exciting thing that happened to me. I got all upset and went out and I put a tree swing up in the front yard here that both the kids enjoy swinging in a whole lot. And that's where they go to be introspective and just like kind of look off like they're in the dandelion patch in Bloom County and just like, think about all the people who've wronged them.
Is that dangerous to do without glasses?
Yeah, you.
Swinging is not safe without glasses, Jared. You're 1,000% right about that. And I said it in the text message chain that we had. And also, never apologize to someone just via text, because if
it's a sign of weakness.
if they're still upset, they'll just keep hitting you with more questions and follow up. And so then it was like I'd already spent my apology. I didn't know what else to do. I was backed into a corner. Anyway, so there's a lot of that going on. I did want to know. I wanted to do a little round of what you've been tubing, because when I've been when I've been on YouTube, I've been getting, everybody gets this. It's not a unique situation for myself, but I get a lot of odd recommendations. I can't really see where they came from. Like I can't draw the connections between what I watch and what I'm recommended. But if you just click on one of those recommendations, all of a sudden you're buying into this whole radical system. Like at some point in the past, I looked at some woodworking videos, and now I'm always getting recommendations for like milling logs, like felling trees and then cutting slabs of wood from them. Like I got one recommendation that says, beautiful log held a terrible secret for 40 years. And I watched the video, and it's this guy milling timber from a log, and he's like real into it. He's like showing like, I ain't never seen no color like that. I got to decide which one I'm going to pour water on, because that's the thing is like every episode he picks one slab that he really likes, and he pours water on it, and it brings out all the colors. He's just overjoyed when he does it. But do you guys want to know what the terrible secret that the log held was?
Yes.
Nails. There were nails in it.
Oh,
it was a terrible secret. Yeah, that dulls the blade, pal.
No.
I think
I've never cut a tree down.
That sounds delightful.
I basically have. I've watched enough videos. I've watched enough videos that I'm basically a lumber expert at this point. Another recommendation I got on that similar subject was just labeled avoid kickback. and it had the thumbnail was a picture of presumably a fella's like tummy, bare tummy with a big like 2x4 shaped bruise on it.
Oh,
gotta avoid
perfect
kickback.
square.
Yeah, a rectangle. Come on.
Oh,
But you gotta avoid kickback.
absolutely. I have my recommendations up right now. I think they're pretty straightforward. Some other podcasts that I won't advertise here.
Good.
Some Netflix comedy specials that we've all talked about before. And then the top 10 fights with the craziest and most insane starts. That's good. And world record squat championship gets adjustment.
That makes sense.
Yeah, pretty on point.
The record got an adjustment, or the champion got an adjustment?
The champion got an adjustment by a chiropractor. From the thumbnail, didn't go well.
I get a lot of sports compilations. I got one that was Breaking the Unwritten Rules, Part 5. It was about baseball. And I watched the video, and I don't know what they were talking about. It was just like kind of a compilation of guys getting hit by pitches and charging the mound. But there are rules that govern all of that behavior. If you get hit by a pitch, you take the base. If you charge the mound, you get thrown out. The rules are written completely. And I'm a little bit insulted by YouTube because I don't know what kind of comedy they think I like. Because I got one that the title was Popeye's Drive-Thru Sling Blade Style.
I don't like that at all.
It was just some guy with his whole family in the car ordering at Popeye's with the Sling Blade voice, Billy Bob Thornton from Sling Blade, which is a movie I've never seen, but I recognize what the character sounds like. And the whole family was in the car. They just seemed like, oh God, we got to go along with Dad's like YouTube impressions again. Have you ever done anything Sling Blade style? Did you do your cooking class Sling Blade style?
No, I didn't try any impressions. I was too frazzled.
I feel like next time
no oyster sauce or the potatoes won't cook.
If you do the
taters, that was Lord of the Rings.
Ooh,
I always mix those up.
Have you seen Lord of the Rings Sling Blade style? They did the whole extended editions with that voice, every character. I feel like if you did an entire cooking class in character, that would go over really well, and maybe that would be a good way to maybe explain the Outer Worlds background a little better. All right, full stop.
Okay.
Everybody be serious. Jared, do you have anything? Wait, does anyone, either Jotham or Jared, do either of you have any good recommendations that come up for maybe no reason?
I'm looking now. I don't know. I've got Tim Heidecker, Connor O'Malley, Far Cry 6, Zelda. I don't know. IGN.
I have a lot of like video game lore videos where they explain and talk about like various lore.
Oh, you love that stuff.
I do love that stuff.
So just all backstory.
Also, I started watching all these like old training videos for like different like corporations from like the 80s and stuff, like a McDonald's one. There's like a Crystal Pepsi one that are just like in that very much in that like early 90s, late 80s, like VHS like kind of aesthetic with all the people with all the so I'll get in a lot of those. I have a lot of Steven Seagal stuff now that I watch that the greatest single line ever spoken in cinematic history.
What is it again? What's the line?
That's about it.
What movie was that from?
Hold on, let me try to find out.
Something about a lunchbox? What is it?
Hey, Alistair, you sound
kind
of underwater half of the time. Does anyone else hear that, or is that just on my end?
It's a little bit, yeah.
I think it might be because I keep trying to talk over other people. I apologize for that.
You're not using a low pass filter sometimes?
I mean, obviously, I've got a low pass filter. I'm playing it like Johnny Greenwood. I'm cranking up the resonance, and I'm like moving the peak around. Yeah. Are you saying that's harder to hear when I do that?
Just when you're.
I'll try and stop doing
but
that.
I like it.
It's not about necessarily you hearing the words I say. It's about creating a soundscape.
The movie is called A Good Man.
What's the line?
The line is, I will. Well, that's too bad. Because now I'm going to snatch every motherfucker birthday.
Snatch every motherfucker birthday. I don't know why I thought lunchbox was part of it. Maybe I was thinking breakfast instead of birthday. I'll snatch every motherfucker breakfast.
But he pauses before he says it like he's trying to remember. It's like the pause is just a little too long to be dramatic. Like it wades into like I'm trying to remember the line like territory. Like it's amazing.
Yeah. He looks like he's made out of Percocet and lunchboxes.
Yeah. Just on YouTube, search I will snatch every motherfucker birthday, and you'll be able to see it. It's glorious 37 seconds.
Live it.
I watched this video earlier. Maybe you guys had seen it, where that CBS like recreates what a mummy sounds like.
So good.
Okay, I saw it.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to it.
You have to listen to it.
But I didn't know. My friend, he didn't know either. He thought he sent me the original, and it's not the original. Like the yell that comes out sounds like a Death Grips yell, and then I had to find like the original. The original's pretty good too. I don't know why he didn't just stick with that one, but that's a good little vid.
I'm gonna need a little bit of explanation on that. What a mummy sounds like?
Okay, so the video is CBS, and they have a mummy going into an MRI, and they're like, we were able to recreate what the mummy's voice sounds like, and they show a picture of his, like, I don't know, vocal cords, and it just goes, rawr!
It's not quite raw, but they use a 3D printer to recreate the vocal cord and air passageway, and then they like blow in it, and it's more of a squeaky noise.
Well, the first one that I saw was the actual yell. Then when I looked it up, yes, the original sounds more like that.
So if real life is anything like Jurassic Park 3, this is the way that you could befriend the mummy, and that you could get it not to attack you when you're giving it its eggs back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, you could steal the mummy eggs.
Steal every motherfucker's mummy eggs.
Mummy eggs.
Well, would you guys be interested in taking part in a trivia challenge?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Got my paper ready.
Exactly. They're going to be... Okay, let me just make the rules clear here from the beginning. We're going to be chiming in by saying our names, you guys, for most of the questions. And for, I believe there's just one in this set of 10 questions, where I am going to ask you to write down your answers and grant a point each for the multiple answers that you get correct.
Thank you for reviewing the point system, because that was my next question.
I know there are always questions about the point system and about whether you ring in or not, so I just want to make that very clear right from the start. So everybody get your pens and paper ready. We will be using them later on in this quiz. This I build as being another 90s music trivia, but it's not. It's some 90s, maybe mostly 90s, but there's some other general. There's some classic rock in there. There's some maybe a little more modern stuff even. Not too much more modern than the 90s. But I think we should just give it a go.
Oh boy. It's time for every human's favorite question and answer fun game. I already knew that a long time ago. With your host, Alistair St. Hill.
Boom. This is, I can't believe you would come here without knowing this already. With me, Alistair St. Hill. 10 questions. No need to beleaguer it. We're getting started now. Question 1. The song Everything I Do, parentheses, I Do It For You, is featured on the soundtrack of what film?
Corn.
Jared.
Corn won that one.
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
That is correct. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. was a chart topper.
I used to rewind that constantly to hear that song over and over again.
They played it on TV a lot, the video.
I used to rent it.
He taped it on TV.
Yeah,
I went to Ewing Video, a small video rental store, to rent that tape a lot and wear out that end credit song.
I was a Pot of Gold man.
Pot of Gold's pretty good too.
That was a video store at Gateway Mall. Jared, you familiar with Gateway Mall?
That's right.
All right, Corin's up 1-0. Question 2. What was the name of the puppet character who scored a hit with Mr. Wazoo in 1999 after featuring in a Levi's ad? Jared's got it. Jared, go ahead.
Flat Eric.
It's Flat Eric.
I didn't even hear the whole question. I wouldn't have gotten it. It doesn't matter. Next question.
You needed more context for Flat Eric?
That doesn't matter.
Are you worried that maybe your internet connection has been somehow routed through Southeast Asia?
It might have been.
Mandy's youngest really loves Flat Eric, and when it occurs to them to request watching a video, they will refer to Flat Eric as Monkey Cat, which he kind of resembles. Monkey Cat. Maybe coming up in a later question. It will not be. Question 3. Which Scandinavian country were 90s hitmakers Ace of Base from? Jared, go.
Sweden.
That's correct. Sweden, Ace of Base. They saw the sign and it opened up their eyes because all they wanted was another baby. Question 4. What was the title of Oasis's debut album released in 1994?
Oh, God.
Jotham.
Go, Jotham.
What's the story, Morning Glory?
I can't believe the things you say.
Incorrect. Minus 12 points.
I'm negative 12 now?
Yeah.
I'm never going to catch up.
That was a very, very point-heavy question.
There might be a 1,000-point question.
Any other guesses? Corin.
I don't know. Was it their self-titled one?
Yo!
Minus 1 point.
Hey.
Anyway, Jared,
come on.
Jared, open goal. No, come on.
No, it's not open book.
I have no idea.
Correct answer is definitely maybe. 1994. Definitely maybe. Maybe
That's a dumb name.
Supersonic was on that or something. Never heard of it. You said that as though you doubt it exists.
No, I have heard of it, but I have not listened to it.
This guitarist is known for wearing a schoolboy's uniform.
Oh, God.
Jotham Gotham.
Schoolboys? Bon Scott?
I can't believe the things you say.
Minus 10 points
No, Corin.
I'm negative 22?
at this point.
It's the guy from AC/DC whose name I can't remember. Hit the button.
Jared.
Hit that button.
Jared, go.
I know his name is Angus.
Any
His
guess?
first name is Angus.
Any guess at the last name?
I want to say
Young?
McBride, but I know it's not. Oh, it's Young.
Young.
It is Young.
I'll give Jotham and Jared. I'll give just Jotham 1 point for that because you guys were so weak the way that you had to like use each other to come up with it. I don't respect that. Question 6. This London band, considered to be by some the first power trio, released their first album in 1966 and put out 4 studio and live albums during their time together. London band, first album in 1966, considered by some to be the first power trio. What band is it? London.
Does it start with the?
Does anyone have any?
Is it a the band?
Does anyone have any guesses? Is anyone ringing in?
The.
Cream. Band is
The
Cream.
Cream.
Oh, yeah. I love Cream.
Some people like I did hear. I remember a recording of Jimi Hendrix where he was covering "Sunshine of Your Love." He's like, "This is by a band called The Cream," and I was like, "The Cream? Does anybody call them The Cream?" And I wasn't until Jotham that I've met another person who calls them The Cream.
You're in
Ian
good company,
Hendricks.
Jotham. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take it. It's a compliment.
I'm a big fan of your Jimi Hendrix impersonation.
He says everything like he's shouting over a crowd. I wonder why he would talk like that. In the song 1 Week, why do the bare naked ladies claim that they like the sushi?
It's been...
Go through the whole thing.
lyrics right quick. They like the sushi because
X-Files, the lights
anime
on,
girls.
because they really do it better.
Chicken to China.
Chinese chicken. You take a drumstick and your brain starts sticking.
Watching X-Files with the
I was
lights
the same
on.
verse. That's all I got.
you guys are stuck in a loop.
That verse is stuck in a loop in my brain. If that song plays, it's that verse.
They like the sushi because it's never touched a frying pan.
Never would have gotten there.
No points.
Never mind.
Yeah, were you just going to say
debate
they're
that.
stupid?
I just said chicken to China, the Chinese chicken. I'm not going to debate sushi with the bare naked ladies.
Well,
They've already won.
we came up with a name for the episode, Debating Sushi with the Just making it up.
Stupid.
Question 8. What happened to Miss Independent? What happened to Miss Independent?
Oh, wait, this is a lyric.
Right. From whence did this lyric come?
I'll give you a hint. The artist is Clarky
Prince.
Kelson.
No.
Is what?
I said Clarky Kelson, a Kelly Clarkson song. What happened to Miss Independent? She tells you straight up in the song.
Yeah, I bet.
Sounds like a good one.
She fell in love.
Oh, that's good.
Question 9. Getting right down to the nitty gritty. This is close. Jared has 2 points. Jotham, for some reason, has 1 point, and Corin has 1 point. What did Missy Elliott say after she put her thing down, flipped it, and reversed it?
Jotham.
Gotham. Say it one more time.
Do you want me to repeat that?
Say it, please. Yeah.
Did you not get it?
Those aren't enough syllables. Does anyone else know what she said?
I mean, it's the same line in reverse, but
I always think of it as and does anyone else agree that Jotham left off the last little bit?
No, yes. I do not agree.
No, I think he did a great job.
I gave Jotham I gave Jotham a point.
Thank you.
You're welcome, buddy. I'm sorry.
So Jared has 2, Jotham has 2, Corin has 1. So on this last question, could make all the difference. Get your pens and paper ready.
Said this shit like He-Man.
You did what?
By the power of Gray Skull Dog. Skull Dog.
The 1994 LP Crazy Sexy Cool by TLC yielded 4 hit singles.
Oh, no.
There we go.
Please name as many of those singles as you can. 1994, I believe it was their second LP. It was definitely the second one after they started getting global acclaim, and it was by far their most successful LP in their run together. That's 4 hit singles with videos to match.
Do we get a quarter point for one answer?
1 point for each answer. This could
it's
change
a
it all up.
four-pointer.
This is a 4-pointer.
This is for the whole game. Oh, wow.
Does anyone need any more time?
I'm just making it legible.
Will anyone know any more if I give them more time?
No.
All right, let's go
Maybe
around.
I'll write down some salt and pepper songs.
I'm going to... Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was about to write shoot.
Corin, why don't you hold up your paper first and let us know what singles.
Hold on. I've got to separate where I had Primus and Butthole Surfers from last week.
Same paper.
Reuse.
Paper.
Conserve. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Can you read that? It says, don't go chasing waterfalls and scrub.
Unfortunately, Scrubs was not on that album. That was on, I think, their follow-up to that, which I cannot tell you the name of legally.
Oh.
So you got one answer correct. That brings you to a tie with Jotham and Jared. 2-2-2. Let's take it over to Jared. Jared, what are your answers?
Still writing.
I also said no scrubs, which is wrong. I also said waterfall. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Red Light Special.
Red Light Special is one of them.
And Creep.
Creep is one of them. Just like Radiohead, they did a Radiohead cover. Yeah. So Jared, that brings you up to 5 to Jotham and Corin's 2 points. Wow. Did you just see how Jared put his thing down, flipped it, and reversed it? You wrote down, now Jotham, you just held that up, and I believe you wrote down waterfalls and don't go chasing waterfalls. As though
that would have been cool.
The sequel.
The
sequel and the sequel.
I'm going to give you 2 points for that. I never specified that you couldn't repeat answers for extra points. So I'm going to give him 2 points. Unfortunately, that's not enough. Jared still wins at 5-4-2. Corin right now is looking like an injustice was just committed.
I think he's reading a Wikipedia with the TLC song
Next week, I'm going to come up with my own quiz. It's going to be early 2000s new
Smashing
metal.
Pumpkins.
I believe early 2000 Smashing Pumpkins might consist only of the single Adore.
Ugh.
Which I know that album very well.
That's where I dropped off. I knew Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, and nothing that far and no further.
I mean, there was a box set in between the two as well. Came from the Melancholy singles.
Yeah, I remember there was a song called Song for Johnny that was a really neat ripper. It was like a Johnny, what's his name? What's the blues guitarist? No. Johnny Winter.
Oh.
Johnny Winter style kind of slide thinger going on. Lots of fun.
The Airplane Flies High was the name of it.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say but that's not true. I was mixing that up with a little Neutral Milk Hotel. So you guys did a great job. Jared is this week's champion of trivia. He feels so good about it.
Way to go, Jared.
Thank you.
Would you guys like to take a break and then come back and do a little news after the music? Is that good with you?
If we have time.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see who walks into frame in the lower right. Coming up in this set of music, we're going to hear a brand new single from Jinx with Shelby Soul called Won't Forget Your Name. Some brand new Vetnough. Comeback Crows, it's called. It will be released, I believe, the same day that this podcast is coming back. Cody, a band featuring Cody Wilson and also other members of Trebien and Wolfface and Changer, a whole bunch of folks. A song called Lion. And then some brand new Condominium Florida. That's Chris Netto of Permanent Makeup's solo project. We're going to hear a song called The Administrators Are Too Stoked to Enact Bad Policy. We will be back after this. You're listening to Grand National Championships. Don't shake your head. It's a real song.
It's great.
Tell me where them kings go. This one for the power when we seem low. Cowards won't allow us, they devouring our ego. But now I'm screaming power to the people. They locking up brothers up in the streets though, for the same thing politicians would get impeached for. But I spit this knowledge to these beats though. Now put them high and let them streets know.
It's like I'm the only one who sees the world dying. I feel like I'm the only one who hears the we wanted change, so we broke the chains. But we never let them fall. Bloodshed and fear, tears cried for years. No, we won't forget your name.
Moment of silence for the dead kings. Another silence for the dead queens. At least now you get to spread your wings. I hope to God that you found your peace. I hear your soul through the melody. I hear everything you're telling me. We stand in pride of your memory. We gotta be better than anything they ever telling we. They tell LeBron just to dribble, boy. They calling Kanye a Trump toy. They telling me to put my fist down, but they still emptying them clips, plow. Too much emptiness in them kids now. Take those frowns, turn them into a smile. Tell them babies heaven is close and hardly far. Although it's murder and tragedy that you probably saw, I do this permanently till it permeates your soul. Too much negativity get exposed, but here come balance and a new approach. Cause if you feel like your life is valid, then you will grow. They wanna say that you're an animal, but you're a child of God, that's undeniable. That's why we stand here in your memory. I say your name with honor cause you're a part of me.
It's like I'm the only one who sees the world dying. I feel like I'm the only one who hears their hearts calling. Yeah, and we wanted change, so we broke the chains. But we never let them fall. Bloodshed and fear, tears cried for years. No, we won't forget your name.
George, Sam, John, Dion, India, Bovum, Antoine, Jordan, Christian, Tony, Linwood, Dwayne, Justin, Jersey, Aaron, Earl, Henry, Eula, Mark, Michael, Fred, James, Ron, Jim, Michael, Steven, Sean, Victor, Ryan, Walter, Trayvon, Sandra, Jinx.
You feel your teeth, everything you leave. Hear your voice. It's not your choice. It's not your choice. Did you fall with those things one? Is it a hollow on the open? Do you know where the wind blows? I forgot. So come back home. So come back home. So come back home. So come back home. Do you feel it in your skin? All that you live, lost his heart. Everything you want, everything you want. Did you fall with those things one? Is it a hollow on the open? Do you know when the wind blows? I forgot. So come back home. So come back home. So come back home. So come back home. It's not your choice. It's not your choice. Did you fall with those things one? Is it a hollow on the open? Do you know where the wind blows? I forgot. So come back home. So come back home. So come back home. So come back home. Do you feel it in your skin? All that you live, Lord. crawl.
To ignore. As I wander, still I wonder how much pressure you are under, trying to be ordinary. As I throw my television out the window on your car, will you still call me friendly? It's a lot to take in. Not afraid, only a little nervous about the way life passes by. Working for the rest of your life, trying to make ends meet. But it's a beautiful night. Do you feel like dancing with me? We can listen to Hanson on the radio with Charles Manson. Oh no, I didn't think so.
Spooky time. This is Grand National Championships. We're back for the second half of the show. And I think the best way to bring it in is probably just going straight into something. News. Again, we didn't decide. We didn't decide. I messed up. I was so eager to get it in the news. I just thought someone would do it. So how about you, Mr. Loudmouth? Jotham, you start up.
I'm Mr. Loudmouth?
You're the one who said it. Who does it? Who does it?
All right. So, it turns out in a pandemic, no one knows you're underage. That's what Gen Z has discovered as they've updated the fake ID for the COVID-19 era, hitting up liquor stores dressed as elderly grandmas wearing coronavirus face masks. The prank has taken social media platform TikTok by storm, with videos of users bedecked as booze hound nanas, seemingly victorious, bottles in hand, racking up millions of views.
I saw this headline. When I saw the headline, I misread it, and I read it as "teens are disgusting as grandmas," but I realized it's disguising as grandmas, and it's pretty ingenious. I mean, you just have to put on a little powdered wig, just get a little George Washington on, and put on like an Easter hat, and then cover up most of your face.
George Washington lying around.
Would you
just baby powder your own hair? I mean, you could do that as well.
Are there other things that you could get away with, like other than like buying alcohol, dressing up as an old person, maybe?
Do you remember that person who disguised themselves as an old man on a flight? They took a flight. They were trying to defect, maybe from North Korea. It was from someplace on that side of the world. They were taking a flight, I think, to the United States, or maybe it was to England, and they got on the flight as an old man, and then in the middle of the flight, they went to the bathroom and they took off this very realistic mask that they were wearing, and they were a young man, and they said, "I would please like to defect, please." And some people were saying that they thought things looked odd because the hands were not made up. The hands still looked like young, smooth, model-esque, and that's the only thing I could think. Maybe if a teenager wants to defect.
If you want to defect from a communist country, okay.
Or from here.
You could go shopping at Publix early if they're still doing that.
Yeah, early bird special.
Yeah, early bird specials. Yeah, exactly. Mall walking is a good one.
Say whatever you want.
That's what I would do.
Fart in public.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Was that the NoFX album?
Fart in public. Yeah, that was their live album.
Great.
So can anyone, are there any other advantages to appearing as an old person while being able-bodied and strong?
Other than booze?
Like arm wrestling? Like if you're going to bet on it?
Or pool shark. Go in and hustle someone at a pool hall.
Or any wrestling, or like taekwondo.
Did you guys see that Sylvester Stallone movie where he's like arm wrestling his way across the USA?
Over the top, yes.
Over the top, yes.
Yeah, and the grand prize was a tractor trailer, I believe, because he was a truck driver. He had to win the tractor trailer for his son, to provide the living for his son.
Right, for the respect of his son.
Yeah. If I lose, then this guy becomes this kid's father. I remember that was the subplot. What else is in the news, Jared?
An Irish man is applying for a Guinness World Record after getting 34 different tattoos based on anime series and collectible card game Yu-Gi-Oh! Liam O'Donovan of Bandon Cork said he has been a long-time fan of the anime and the card game, so he decided to get some of the artwork from the collectible cards tattooed on his body. So I decided after getting one Yu-Gi-Oh! Card on me, I should just keep going, and I'm currently on 34, O'Donovan said in a video showing off his tattoos. He said he has applied to Guinness World Records to have his body art collection officially recognized as the most Yu-Gi-Oh! Tattoos on one person's body.
It's very specific.
That's something.
I mean, what what anime would you like to have the record of in which
if I could just pick and do it.
But that sentence fell apart, but you know what I mean.
He said it was the cards, so it was more about the cards rather than like the universe of the anime, right? The collectible card game.
Correct. Yeah.
So like what if it were Magic
He
the
has
Gathering?
cards tattooed on him. Everything on the card.
Yeah.
Like the point values and stuff.
He's like just wallpapering his body. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, like, can you just like do the most at something and then call up Guinness and ask them to put you in the book because you're the only example of it that exists?
I think so.
That's the whole book.
There's people compete for those things, right? I mean, there's some things.
Well, like tonight, you got in the highest score in trivia on Grand National Champions. So by that logic,
we'll get him on the line.
Get him on the line.
You know who I've talked to about appearing on this show is Odilon Ozare, who is someone we know, like a local person who's part of the Tampa Bay art community, who has gotten a Guinness World Record for the tallest hat. He made it himself, and he was able to walk 30 feet with it on his head without extra support. And now
that's the metric they use.
It's something like that. You have to be able to wear it on your head and walk a certain distance unaided without outside support, and I think without holding it on with your hands. So it's also kind of athletic too. But now he's also gotten into shoes. He started cobbling, and he's making. He tried for a record for the longest acrylic fingernails that he had to keep and hold on his hands for like an hour straight or something like that. And they're very long, and it looked awkward and very difficult. I don't know if that was a record that he won. But yeah, now he's making some shoes, some of the longest shoes. So we might have him on the program sometime, and he could elucidate some of the requirements that the Guinness people have for appearing in the book, and how stringent the criteria are, and how narrow the categories are defined.
I bet they got a team of people on that. You know, they're like in an office arguing about like, oh no, it's got to be 29. No, it's got to be 30 feet. You know,
you don't want to choose
29 feet.
Arbitrarily. Corin, what's in your news?
All right. A company in New Zealand has crafted a realistic $26 million robotic dolphin. While going to the aquarium is a great way to learn about sea creatures, some have raised concerns about the animal's quality of life. One company in New Zealand has a unique solution. Edge Innovations, a company in New Zealand, is working with some of Hollywood's best animatronic effects creators to create robotic dolphins that are nearly indistinguishable from real-life animals.
Did you say it was 26 feet long?
No, $26 million.
Oh, $26 million. I just heard 26. I was like, that's definitely distinguishable from a regular dolphin.
Oh, how terrifying, giant dolphin.
I wrote down 26-foot robot dolphin. Now I'm going to be disappointed when I see it.
Yeah, also a good episode title. The robot dolphin may seem like something strange, but the animatronics could be a good way for people to experience sea life while cutting down on the amount of animals in captivity. The price tag on it, I'm just skipping ahead here.
$26 million, I've heard.
Is $26.3 million US dollars. But the robot could be controlled by a human via remote and be able to interact with humans as a regular dolphin would.
You made it sound like that was it cost $26 million, but it can be controlled remotely. You don't have to climb inside it or anything. It's like that's a reason
to drive it from on top of it.
Oh, with a saddle.
Yeah. So this is 4 times as expensive as a natural dolphin.
Wait.
Inexplicably, in this article, it claims that a regular dolphin is like $6.5 million.
Wow.
I wouldn't pay $6.5 million to put a hit on a dolphin.
I would.
But I do want him dead.
But yeah, so I mean, like, this is kind of unnerving because it's basically they've created the dolphin Terminator, right? Like,
yeah.
And that's our worst nightmare.
I will. It's a combination of your two worst nightmares: dolphins and robots.
I mean, we have a very strong anti-dolphin stance. Like,
yeah, we do. We do.
And like, this is like, I feel like they are getting a leg up in the arms race now, or a fin up in the arms race. A leg
up in the arms race. Come on, pal.
They don't have legs. Sorry, I made a terrible joke.
I do want to mention. People will often say, very often, people will come up to me on the street. I'll be in a supermarket with my family, and people will say, "Oh, I hear you're anti-dolphin on your podcast / radio show." And I'll say, "No. I will say, well, I just freeze framed in a really weird position. I will say we're not anti-dolphin. I just demand that they are accountable for their crimes."
Right.
That's all I have to say about it.
So you believe that they can change? They can be reformed?
No, I just want them to pay. I want them to pay.
You want them to pay?
Yeah. $6.5 million.
Dolphin crime.
I do like that all these years later, we're still talking about robot dolphins. This feels like the same old show. Yeah, good times.
Yeah.
Sorry, was there anything more to talk about these robot dolphins?
I mean, I did watch the video, and it's pretty incredible.
Is it pretty sick?
Yeah, you can't really tell it's a robot dolphin. It's nuts.
So it was money well spent.
It's nuts.
Yeah, that 26 mil went right to its quality. Yeah. It's swimming around in a pool with kids, and the kids don't know that it's fake.
Does it taste like a real dolphin?
Good question, Jared. I will inquire further.
All right, well, it sounds like that's the news. I wanted to mention a couple things. I have been sending out the phone number for the podcast, which is 727-379-4335. I want people to call in with voice messages if they have questions for us. We've been sending out kind of a question of the week type thing, where the standing question for the past 2 weeks has been, what have you been listening to lately? And in addition, there've been, a secondary question. Last week we asked if you have a story about irritating a celebrity, and this week it was, what was the question?
About a Cocker Spaniel?
No, it wasn't about a Cocker Spaniel. I was
walking out of a movie.
Yeah, if there's any movies that have been so unexpectedly bad that you've walked out of them. But I did also go around to some various groups on Facebook and some other locales, just to different like fan groups for certain breeds of dogs or certain activities, certain genres of music, certain particular bands, hobbyists, collectors, and just left messages saying, here's our podcast phone number if you want to call in a voice message about why you love this particular thing. And then I'd include a couple questions about it, like, at what age did you start to love this thing? And, things that were somewhat specific to I don't want to tell you what they all are, because I will tell you that we haven't necessarily gotten a lot of feedback on them yet, but it's going to be an ongoing thing. I don't necessarily want to let you guys know what the categories are, because I think it's better if someone just calls in and defends a surprising position. I feel like you'll have a better reaction to it that way. But I will say, I looked up a Facebook group on cast iron cooking. That is one of the ones that I solicited voice messages from. And although I didn't get a response to that, I did find a cast iron cooking group that had some very specific rules. I want to go over the rules of this cast iron cooking group. Rule number 1, no drama, period. Absolutely no healthy versus unhealthy posts, medical advice, requests for sympathy or attention, or cute little games with the rules. Rule 2, no selling of cast.
That was one rule?
That was one.
Yeah, there are 10 rules.
All of them.
There are
No
10
drama.
rules.
Oh my god.
Rule 1, no drama. Yeah, then they spelled out what that entails.
These have got to be very wordy posts.
Rule 2, no selling of cast iron or other items. This is a cooking group, not a selling group. Selling cast iron, including direct links to cast iron for sale on shopping websites, is not allowed. Rule 3, admins reserve the right to remove any post. Rule 4, rudeness is not tolerated. If you don't like it, move on and read something else. Comments about how you dislike someone else's cooked food will be removed. Profanity will get you banned. Puke emojis and GIFs will be deleted. No puke emojis.
What about the poo?
They didn't mention
Good question.
that.
Totally fine.
That's what I would leave.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. The last sentence is poo emojis encouraged.
Well, all food makes you poo, so
Yeah.
it's just
Circle of life, baby. Circle of life.
This person, the admin of this group, sounds like an absolute delight.
Yeah.
Absolute joy.
Yeah.
This is sarcasm like that will get you banned, Jared. This is cooking. This is about cooking. Rule 5, include your cast iron cookware in your photo. Post of food on a plate.
Jesus.
Did they write it like you said it?
Posts of food on a plate that do not include the cookware will be deleted. This group is about cooking in your iron. Wagner and Griswold cast aluminum are permitted. So right at the end, they're like, oh, it doesn't have to be iron. There are a couple companies that we will name by name and endorse. Only endorsed cleaning methods, okay? No fire tossing, media blasting, altering by sanding or grinding, or using a self-cleaning oven, an SCO. If you need more information on cautions and endorsed cleaning methods, check the FAQ section 5. And I like this rule a lot, Rule 7, because it's obviously predicated on some particular incidents. Random cast iron objects will be removed. No knickknacks or racially offensive material and items. Regardless of historical value or of being cast iron, they are not allowed.
Wow.
Rule 8.
Good rule.
It's a good rule, but it makes you think of what these animals have been doing.
Right. To have that specific of a number 7 rule.
Now I'm on the administrator's side because we have no idea what they put up with on a day-to-day basis.
These guys are at their wits' end. They don't know how to deal with this cast iron cooking group. They are out of control. They're cracking the whip like they need to because like these people are posting things that are completely inappropriate.
I judge too
harshly. There's all just the repeat offenders.
Exactly.
Like Greg's at it again.
More puke emojis.
Nazi
racially offensive cast iron knickknacks.
Yeah.
Rule 8: no roll call posts.
What if the knickknack was like a tiny little cast iron pan?
That's funny.
No funny games with the rules, Jared.
If you don't cook with it, you don't post it here, Jared.
You baked it.
Is that so hard for you to understand, Jared? If you don't cook on it, if you cook on it, fine. If it's just a joke to you, post it on the joke forum. Rule 8: no roll call posts. No where you from. No guess what I'm cooking. That clogs the page and the member notifications. No contests, no giveaways, no local events. Sales ads will be marked as a PSA, and we're going to turn comments off. Rule 9: no viral videos or funny memes. They're cute and they're flashy, but these viral videos have been seen in this group dozens and hundreds of times already. We don't want to see them again.
I have a question. Do you think that there are memes and viral videos that are specific to cast iron cooking?
Well, yeah,
certainly.
There's 9, and they've seen them all dozens and hundreds of times.
Yeah. I'm telling you what, the way all of you guys are behaving makes me think that you are not cut out for cast iron cooking, at least in this forum.
Join. I really want to join now.
Sounds like it's ruled with a cast iron fist. It was just like right there.
Sometimes you just gotta take a swing. Rule 10, the final rule: accounts posting spam, scams, or pornography equal an immediate ban. So they have definitely had people posting maybe cast iron related pornography on the group, and that is not allowed.
Wow.
I didn't hear any of the rules about seasoning. Season, because isn't that what you talk about? When you season a pan, you season the cast iron.
I believe that's probably what most of the talk in the forum is about. Seasoning and cleaning.
That's it.
I just keep thinking of cornbread in a cast iron, or I don't know why that's the only image in my head.
It's a good image.
All night, every day.
All the cornbread. Nothing but cornbread.
All that's going through your mind while taking a Thai cooking class, jello cooking class.
Cornbread.
I'm trying to cook
all
these
the
shrimp.
directions and look down, and there's cornbread in your hand. Not again. Slow motion shot of you dropping it on the kitchen floor.
Oh man, breaking the floor. That cast iron is tough.
Ooh, yeah.
All right, we're going to get into some voicemails. Again, the number is 727-379-4335 or paper wheel. And we did get a few calls this week. Let's see here.
Hi, Grand National Championships. It's Arthur from Bradenton calling. I've been listening to a lot of Christian Mistress, really underrated band, I think, kind of throwbacky, like metal type stuff. And I've been listening to the self-titled All Natural Lemon and Lime Flavors album from 2001. As far as movies that are so unexpectedly awful to me, Silver Linings Playbook has got to be the single worst film I've ever seen in terms of like inverse correlation between critical praise for a film and its actual quality. Everything about that movie is absolute trash. It's like the most stilted performances and the most ridiculous plot, and it's just completely miserable. And I felt like I was in not part of a collective delusion that everyone else in the world was sharing when that movie was being praised. So anyway, that's all I got for you. Have a good one, guys.
Arthur feels extraordinarily strongly about Silver Linings Playbook. And I saw it one time, and I don't think I was expecting it to be such a silly movie. For some reason, I thought it was like going to be like really heavy about like mental health. And
I think it was supposed to be, wasn't it?
But it was very silly. It was like, there was a dance contest at the end, and it was
like silly depression.
Yeah, it was like silly depression, silly bipolar disorder,
silly psychosis.
Yeah, silly delusions.
And
I don't.
Bobby De Niro was in it.
Say that again.
I said Bobby De Niro was in it. His character was very silly. Didn't he have like an obsession with? Was it the Green Bay Packers? Some football team. Where are they from?
Yeah,
I know where Green Bay. I know where the Green Bay Packers are from. I meant where are the people in the movie from?
That was the correct team. You were right.
Thank you.
I think the movie with the weirdest reverse correlation between quality and praise was more recent, and that is the film simply called Joker.
Yeah.
Which won Best Picture? And
no, it didn't win Best Picture, did it?
Was it Best Picture or Best Director?
No, I think Joaquin Phoenix won for in acting, but I don't know if the director, Todd Phillips of Hangover fame, if he won an award for it or the picture itself. But I know Best Actor was in it.
Yeah, I watched that movie and then didn't ever want to watch it again, ever.
Yeah. I wish everyone felt that way.
I didn't watch it in the proper sense, so I feel like I'm not even qualified to chime in. I came across a bootleg copy that was posted online, and I watched some of it, and I kept getting bored, and I would just skip ahead. And that says something about it, but I wasn't watching it on a proper screen with proper sound, and, proper elements that you might need for emotional engagement. But I did get bored, and I just skipped around to like the highlight scenes. And to me, it wasn't something that I ever felt like seeking out on its own. So I vote with Corin.
Yes, I win again.
I would vote similarly.
All right.
So everyone is tied at 1 for this one. And we'll give Arthur a point too.
I never saw the Silver Linings Playbook either, so I see it's recommended, like on Netflix. but never seen it.
Is that David O. Russell? Is that the director? The one who did like I Heart Huckabees and others?
I don't remember.
Oh, he did the one Three Kings back in the 90s.
Oh, I love that movie.
He did, I Heart Huckabees. There were a couple others. He does those kind of like goofy thinkers, you know?
Just like us.
Oh, goofy thinkers. I'll write that down.
Sounds like a Willy Wonka candy.
All right. Do you want to hear the next call from one of the goofy thinkers, which is what I call
that's
our listeners.
New segment name. Yeah.
All right.
Hello, Grand National Championships. My name is Mr. YouTube, and I'm so excited that you've decided to join my platform. I love the first episode. Your off-kilter wit giggles my funny bone. But the reason I called is I want to suggest a conversation topic. I'd like to hear you lads talk about your favorite concert you have seen with a band before they got big. For myself, I saw Jimmy Eat World and At the Drive-In at the State Theater with about 75 people in the year 1998. It was amazing. Keep up the good work. Looking forward to future episodes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. YouTube.
All right.
And thank you for welcoming us onto your platform. We are happy to be here. And that's interesting. Jimmy Eat World and At the Drive-In in 1998. That was before they were all over M2 with their smash hit One Armed Scissor. Mm-hmm. What I do have a couple answers for this. Can you mind if I say mine first?
Hit it.
Okay, I wrote it down because now I can't remember. Before they were big, I saw. Oh, one time I saw the Black Lips, who went on to be, they're well-ish known. Before I had ever heard of them, they played at Randy Fritz. They played at the late Randy Fritz's memorial. Three of the dudes came out and sang some weird song about that was all about. They rhymed STD with HIV is all I remember. I mean, everyone was into it. Randy had an eclectic group of friends, and they then became the Black Lips that we all know and love, puking on each other on stage and kissing and pulling wieners and whatnot. And I just appreciate that they didn't do too much of that at the memorial service. And there was another band that I saw before they were big that I saw with my brother, man, Jared McLeod, back in whatever year it was, when we saw a rock concert at the Expo Hall in Tampa that was Korn with the Deftones and
the Expo Hall.
Yeah, the Expo Hall. Korn and the Deftones both played, and opening up was a band from Jacksonville, Florida, no one had ever heard of, called Limp Bizkit, who played a song called Faith, and everyone was like, whoa, they're doing a cover of George Michael in a new metal fashion? How intriguing. And
they're from Jacksonville?
Yeah. Oh, they're all... Yeah. You can't tell just by looking at their promo pictures, you can't tell they're from Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, no, that's very true. I thought about it.
So yeah, we saw Limp Bizkit, and I think that those are the only ones I can think of that became somewhat well known that I saw when they were fledgling. Anyone have any good? Jotham, I feel like you may have seen a lot of bands and just not remembered.
I was gonna say I'm gonna have a good answer for this next week, but I'm drawing blanks right now.
Speaking of State Theater, I saw Matchbox 20 there after their very first single dropped on the radio. And it was on like a Tuesday night, and it was similarly like 80 people in the audience. And I'm not proud of it, but
were they opening for someone
before they were big?
Or was this were they headlining?
They were headlining, but there were only two bands. It was them and some band I can't remember from a band, the opening band. One of the guys,
Days of the New.
Like, I bumped into him in the bathroom and he gave me their CD.
Ew.
Which was really weird, yeah. And I was like 14.
Oh,
I don't
just
know what was happening. It was a
handing off
complicated-
merch in the bathroom to some fresh-faced young boy. You don't do that.
Very pretty boy.
You were a very pretty boy.
If I do say so.
And Jared, who have you seen?
I was kicked out of a Black Lip show like a decade ago. Does that count for anything?
Yeah, of course it does.
Just remember that.
You've really turned things around since then, Joe.
Woo.
Jared, do you have any recollection of seeing big bands before they were so?
I don't know. I felt like I probably saw like Reverend Horton Heat like when I was like 14 or 15. Was that like that was like after their first or second album? They weren't like as well. I mean, I don't know, like they're huge, but they come around like every 2 months now or something.
They really do.
Like them and Man Rastra Man, like way back in the day.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Remember when the only time? Well, I saw them. I saw them one time with Jotham. In just not as many years ago, but way back in the old days was it at the Rub that Jared, you and I saw the Clone Project?
Yeah, Clone Project Alpha.
Right, then they did another Clone Project that was all ladies of various bands doing their stuff. I can't remember what bands were represented in Clone Project Alpha. You might Causeway.
The bassist from Superchunk was a part of it.
Oh, the guy from the Causeway is already part of.
He's in.
Okay, so that was not special. Never mind.
I played the guitar for a little bit at that Man Rastra Man show. It was a lot of fun.
That's true. They did substitute. They handed off instruments to people who were nearby, and our late great bandmate Mike Overly and you at one point were both playing bass and guitar, and the drummer turned around because they let everybody up in the stage area, and I was standing directly behind the drummer, and he handed the sticks to me, and I was like, "Oh, I don't play drums," and and the Kane, our friend Kane, and a friend of his were there, and his friend, who I just met, Kane's friend, turned to me and says, "When someone asks you if you play drums, you always say yes." And to this day, I regret not just sitting down and doing something stupid. But I don't play drums. I'm not a drummer.
Well, apparently I'm not a guitarist after what I did that night.
Yeah, nobody respected what happened. Yeah, I agree with
forgiven.
that. 1 point for Jotham.
We saw this might count Ninja Band, Contraband, and everything before they became Bit Brigade, which is now like constantly touring.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're a hit.
They were at Lowry Parkade earlier this year.
That's right.
They come around kind of, and they play like gaming conventions. Like they kind of have like a national presence now. Like
they're at PAX all the time.
Yeah.
We
got to see them at the ground floor.
We annoyed them in their homes. We would show up and just like, "Hey, how's it going?" And they were like, "Yeah, we can help you find a place to stay." And then just left us on a corner.
And they dragged us to like house parties where we didn't know anyone, and we just stood around awkwardly talking to each other
while they were playing Skate, which had just come out. Yeah.
And then we slept on the drummer's floor in his apartment.
Bless his heart.
It was cute.
Yeah.
Guys, we got one more message from a goofy thinker, and this one may have been predicated by a post I put in a heavy metal forum where I asked, would you leave a voicemail and tell us why you love heavy metal so bad and why maybe people should listen to metal? I don't know, or this could just be from someone that we know. I don't recognize the number, but this is what they left.
The resolve.
Was that Man Rastra Man?
That was me playing guitar at the Man Rastra Man show.
Good job.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, that is an interpretation of Fade to Black.
Yes.
Wait, here. His vocals. Is that wing?
I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
That's great. That's a good art project. I can't wait for that cassette.
There's definitely
Definitely cassette. Definitely cassette.
It goes
Cassette
on
and
for
mini disc.
another 30 seconds or so, but you get the gist of it. I really liked the solo. It was kind of a little bit of Ornette Coleman free jazz.
Yeah, they deconstructed Fade to Black.
Yeah, it's like your salad's going to be later on. Yo, I'm going to deconstruct your salad. That's like saying you're going to beat someone up. Well, I think we've covered... those are all the messages from Goofy Thinkers across the nation. Hey, what area code is 937? Can we get a fact check on that? 937. Is that anywhere around here, or is it far flung?
Tis
Never
southwestern Ohio.
Say again?
Southwestern Ohio.
Okay. Well, that's where that call came from. It was a 937
Dayton,
area code.
Springfield, Beaver Creek, Kettering, Centerville, Trotwood.
But nowadays, they could be spoofing you. It could be coming from anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Could be Thailand.
All right, guys. Well, we are going to say goodbye and get into the final chunk of music. Do you guys have any parting words you'd like to lay on the people?
I saw another news story where Mike Tyson's going to fight a shark.
Cool.
Are you tapping on the table?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that came through real clean.
I sure was. I don't think he's really going to fight the shark. I think it's a publicity stunt.
Question.
But,
Don't say.
yes.
Is he going to fight the shark on land or in water?
Good question.
I think it's going to be in a cage in the water for Shark Week. He says it's brought him closer to God. So
let's just let that lie there.
Yeah, let that simmer.
All right, guys. Well, let's throw it to this last set of music. We're going to hear a song from Morgan Burgess. You may know from the Nervous Girls, a composer and producer in her own right. Going to hear a song called Chiron, a little wee song. Some Mountain Holler from a release of songs recorded, I guess, in 2008 that he just decided to put out during this quarantine situation. Going to hear a song called The Well from that. Some Bornite Carnation. Funnily enough, on their Bandcamp page, it's a recording from a session they did at WMNF for Room 1210 late last year, maybe early this year. They're going to play Tired and Wax Wings from Gainesville, a project of Chelsea Carnes, who is a member of Palimony that we heard last week. This is a song called Devil Please. So we're going to hear those. Guys, fare thee well. We're going to meet back here basically the same time next week. Do it all again.
Sounds good.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm resigned to it as well.
Absolutely.
All right. Glad to see the joy on your goddamned faces. All right. So for Corin Atchison and Jotham Fady and Jared McLeod, I'm Alistair St. Hill. Everyone have a great week. We will see you next time. Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye-bye. 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 Yeah, so that's it.
I'm going to stop recording now.
Yeah, everybody stop recording now.
I'll drop it in the old Dropbox.
Drive, Google Drive.
Right. The Dropbox on Google Drive. All right.
All right, guys. That was great. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Corin, for hanging in.
Later.
Right.
Hey, tell me what kind of steak you have. All right.
All right, later.
relight the fires, ring your bell. And oh, may we all deep in the well. And oh, may we all deep in the well. Rising from truth, curtains have been drawn. Watch city lights grace the dawn. And bound to the frost, tangled in the wires. So back in the ground, the oceans admires. Oh, may we all deep in the well. Oh, may we all deep in the well. Oh, may we all drink from the well.
I see big eyes, wide eyes. Y'all know already. There's no place, no right for hate in this place. I know you're not welcoming me. I see the look that you give people like me. I see big lies, wide eyes. Y'all know already. There's no place,
each other. What the hell, now what's the use? I know there's poison in this juice. If it don't kill me, maybe it'll make me stronger.
Grand National Championships.